Excerpt 3. Constantly, they used the Dharma sound to awaken all the worlds. Dharma refers to methods and principles. The teaching in the previous two excerpts is for self-cultivation and self-benefit. The teaching in this excerpt is for benefiting others. When we benefit from our learning and practice, we should use the experience, through words and our examples, to help others achieve the same results we have. All the worlds refers to the beings in the 9 Dharma realms. Excerpt 4. They cleansed dirt and pollution, and revealed cleanliness. This excerpt is a metaphor. The purpose of our chanting the sutras and the Buddha name is to cleanse the contamination in our character, thoughts, and views so as to reveal cleanliness to restore a pure mind. The full title of the Infinite Life Sutra is Buddha Speaks the Mahayana, Infinite Life, Adornment, Purity, Impartiality, and Enlightenment Sutra. Purity, impartiality, and enlightenment are the guidelines for learning and practicing. What are we learning? We are learning to 1. Cultivate a pure mind, 2. Cultivate an impartial mind, and 3. Be awakened and not deluded. Purity, impartiality, and enlightenment are 1 in 3 and 3 in 1. The Pure Land School focuses on the cultivation of a pure mind. When the mind is pure, the land will be pure. The connection between us and Amitabha Buddha of the Western Pure Land lies in a pure mind. In the present age, pollution is an extremely serious problem. The whole world is urgently calling for protection of the environment. Scientists also warn that, if the pollution on Earth is not abated, then in 50 years it will not be a fit place for the human race to live. From this we can see how serious pollution is. Although many people try to reduce pollution, their efforts produce very little results. Why? Because they only know the phenomena, they do not realize the noumenon, the underlying root cause of pollution. All the efforts for environmental protection provide only superficial solutions. They do not get to the root cause. What is the root cause? It is the polluted human nature, a polluted mind, polluted thoughts, polluted views, and polluted feelings. This kind of pollution is much more harmful than environmental pollution. 20 years ago, when I was at Mr. Fang Dongmai's home one day, 2 officials from the Department of Education happened to be there on a visit. At that time, the Taiwan government was promoting the revival of Chinese culture. An official asked Mr. Fang, "Is there a method that can revive Chinese culture?" Mr. Fang looked very serious and was silent for several minutes. Then he said, "Yes, there is." The officials happily asked him what the method was. He said, "The publication of all the newspapers and magazines in Taiwan must stop. All the television and radio stations must also shut down." Upon hearing this, they shook their heads. "Impossible," they said. Mr. Fang explained, "Newspapers, magazines, and television and radio programs are polluting the human nature and destroying traditional Chinese culture every day. As long as these things exist, efforts to revive Chinese culture will be ineffective. This is why I often urge Buddha name chanting practitioners not to read newspapers and magazines or to watch television, in order to shield their pure mind." Excerpt 5. Their minds constantly and truly dwell on the way to enlighten all beings. The first of the 4 great vows is, "Sentient beings are innumerable. I vow to help them all." Always having this thought is the way to enlighten all beings. This excerpt is about generating the Bodhi mind, a mind that constantly abides by the 4 great vows. But before we can help others, we must first succeed in our practice. The 4 great vows not only refer to a great Bodhi mind, they also spell out the sequence for our cultivation and attainment. The vows are our guide as well as our driving force. Cultivation should start with the eradication of afflictions. Following one teacher helps us eradicate afflictions. when we eradicate afflictions completely. Mara's enmities are no more, and we accomplish meditative concentration and wisdom. We next learn the boundless Dharma doors. People today forsake the first two of the four great vows and start with the third one. Dharma doors are boundless. I vow to master them all. Many of them spend only a few days learning and then start telling others that they are incarnates of a certain Buddha or Bodhisattva. This is complete nonsense. They are deceiving themselves as well as others. In the past, when one started to learn Buddhism, one had to first learn the precepts for 5 years. The precepts refer to the teachings and rules set by the teacher. One had to spend at least 5 years learning from one teacher before one was able to achieve meditative concentration and wisdom. With this foundation, achievement of meditative concentration and wisdom, one was allowed to learn extensively. In the past, when life was much simpler than today, 5 years were required for following the teacher's rules. Today, the living environment is very polluted, more than 10 times what it was before. Therefore, if 5 years were required in the past, 50 years are required for learning the precepts today. But if we tell everyone to do so for 50 years, then no one will want to learn Buddhism. Therefore, it is best to mindfully chant, Namo Amituofo, unceasingly. And only after we meet Amitabha Buddha do we learn extensively. Our cultivation of the four great vows should be divided into 2 stages. Presently, we cultivate only the vows of helping innumerable sentient beings, and ending inexhaustible afflictions. When we get to the Western Pure Land, we then cultivate the vows of learning boundless Dharma doors, and attaining supreme Buddhahood. This is the correct sequence. If we start with cultivating the last 2 vows, this will obstruct our Buddha name chanting practice. This is why it is a matter of immediate urgency to wholeheartedly chant Amituofo and seek rebirth in the Western Pure Land. Excerpt 6. To all living beings they were friends, who would help without being asked. When teaching all beings, the bodhisattvas have this vow of compassion. On their own accord, they become good friends to all beings. When we emulate the bodhisattvas, we should learn to perceive the suitable way and the right time to teach a being. If we do not help this being when the condition is mature, then we would be failing the being. By helping the being when the condition has not matured, we are courting a rebuff. Every being is different in capacity. Additionally, the condition for learning Buddhism is not the same for every being. If a being likes Zen meditation, let the being sincerely cultivate Zen meditation. If a being likes to recite mantras, let the being do so respectfully. All methods are equal, and no one method is superior or inferior to another. 2. Accommodate people with different capacities. The Buddha taught many methods. If a method could help every being, then there would be no need for Sakyamuni Buddha to teach all these methods. We Pure Land practitioners cannot make people practice the Pure Land method. When someone's condition has matured, we should voluntarily introduce Buddhism to help the person. There are many stages in learning Buddhism. As the person gradually advances in practice, he or she will naturally find the most direct route, the wondrous Pure Land method. Therefore, to help all beings skillfully and expediently, we should be patient. Excerpt 7. Great compassion arose from these bodhisattvas. They empathized with all sentient beings. With a heart of compassion, they lectured on the teachings, taught by example, and also imparted the Dharma eyes. They blocked all evil paths and opened the door of virtuousness. They regarded all beings as themselves. They rescued and helped living beings and shouldered the burden of helping them all cross over to the other shore. Arose means came forth. The words, taught by example, mean to demonstrate through behavior. Lectured on means to speak the Dharma. Not only did the Bodhisattvas teach with words, but they also taught by example. In imparted the Dharma eyes, imparted means to pass on. Dharma means method of practice, and eyes is a metaphor. This metaphor refers to helping others understand the truth of all phenomena and principles. In blocked all evil paths, blocked means to prevent and be on guard, and evil paths means the bad realms. The door of virtuousness means, simply put, the virtuous teachings that enable one to be reborn in the human or heavenly path. Sentient beings are deluded. They indulge in the 5 desires and the 6 dusts in worldly pleasures. We should generate a mind of great compassion, empathize with sentient beings, and introduce the Pure Land method to them. Compassion and empathy must be put into action. This is enthusiastically propagating the Pure Land method. With all our hearts we must do our best. We must treat this task as the most important thing in this lifetime. With a heart of compassion, they lectured on the teachings, taught by example, and also imparted the Dharma eyes. They blocked all evil paths and opened the door of virtuousness. These sentences describe the method of teaching. We do not need to be on stage to expound on Buddhism, but we should do so whenever and wherever we encounter someone. We introduce Buddhism to that person in a way that is most suitable for that person. If he or she cannot accept Buddhism at all, simply say, Namo Amatu Ofo. As time goes by and the person gradually understands, that person will also say, Namo Amatu Ofo, the next time we meet. In this way, we will have accomplished our goal. This is just one of many ways. For example, a practitioner is always happy and healthy, something everyone very much envies. If we are truly healthy and happy, others will surely ask us, why are you always happy? We tell them, because I mindfully chant the Buddha name. Practicing Buddha name chanting will lead to true happiness and good health. If they feel happy in listening to our explanation, then we are making good use of the opportunity to teach them. Taught by example refers to us living a happy, satisfied, and joyful life. This is a good signboard for the Buddha's teaching. When people see this, they will like it and will want this happiness for themselves. Hence, they will want to learn Buddhism. How does one avoid falling into the evil paths? If one does not create evil karmas, naturally one will not fall into the evil paths. Evil paths are due mainly to evil thoughts. Evil thought is the cause. Evil conduct is unvirtuous karma, and bad retributions will surely follow. The law of cause and effect never fails. If we do not want to have any bad retributions, we should not have any bad thoughts. With pure and proper thoughts, we will definitely not have any bad retributions. The words, open the door of virtuousness, mean urging people to end wrongdoings and to practice virtuous conduct. When people end wrongdoings and practice virtuous conduct, the benefit will go to them. The benefit does not involve us. Those who do this will receive the benefit. It is not that others practice and we benefit. Definitely, when we practice we benefit. When this happens, we are proving to others that good rewards come from ending wrongdoings and practicing virtuous conduct. There are people who become scared when we tell them about transcending the 3 realms and attaining Buddhahood, but they get happy when we talk about them becoming immensely rich and important in their next lifetime. When we encounter such people, we should teach them the methods of being born as a human or a heavenly being. There are also people who have great aspirations. They know that the 3 realms are filled with sufferings, and that even in the heavenly path, where good fortune is great and the lifespan is long, the heavenly beings will still die one day. For these people with great aspirations, their wish is to transcend the 3 realms. We should teach them the methods of transcending the three realms. This is a door of great virtuousness. Frankly, the only method of practice that allows one to succeed in one lifetime is the Buddha name chanting method. In all my 40+ years of learning Buddhism, this is what I have realized. The Buddha name chanting method is truly wondrous. If we introduce it to others, we are opening the door of utmost virtuousness. Nothing is more virtuous than this. They regarded all beings as themselves. They rescued and helped living beings and shouldered the burden of helping them all cross over to the other shore. When we treat others like we would treat ourselves, that is, with no difference whatsoever, it is unconditional compassion for all others. As we are all one entity, as taught in Mahayana Buddhism, we should treat all impartially. As long as a person accepts our help, we should wholeheartedly help. Buddhist practitioners should have this vow: help all beings far and wide, uphold the proper teachings, and pass on the Buddha's wisdom to future generations.